Dear viewers, greetings from the English Literature YouTube channel. It is a one-stop destination to soothe all your literary curiosities. In today's video, we are going to continue our discussion on Term and Examination June 2022 question paper of MEG 7, that is Indian English Literature. We have already discussed question number 1 and 2 in our previous videos. Here is the question paper. Question number 3. Discuss the importance of Bim and Tara's relationship in Anita Desai's novel Clear Light of Day. The relationship between the two Das sisters, Bim and Tara, forms the core of Desai's novel Clear Light of Day. Everything that happens in the novel is reflected in this relationship. Bim and Tara naturally bonded as siblings, but their different personalities make their relationship problematic. The two aspects of this relationship are their bonding and their differences. These remain an undercurrent throughout the novel. It is Tara's holiday visit to her sister Bim that sets up the events in the novel. Bim or Bimla is the elder of the two Das sisters. She is unmarried and teaches history in a local college. Desai describes her as grey and heavy now, and not so unlike their mother in appearance. After Meera Masi falls ill, Bim takes on the role of a surrogate mother to her siblings. Tara, the younger sister, is portrayed as a languid little girl, a dwaddler. Tara is married to an IPS officer and has two daughters. By describing the way of dressing, Desai has subtly revealed the different personalities of the two sisters. Tara is in her elegant pale blue nylon nightgown and elegant silver slippers. Bim is in a curious shapeless handmade garment. In a sense, the two sisters present different notions of Indian womanhood. Tara, the married sister who is dependent on her husband, represents the typical Indian married woman. She has no ambitions of her own. Ironically, the childhood dreams of the two sisters seem opposite. We find that Bim always wanted to be a heroine, a Joan of Arc or a Florence Nightingale, and Tara wanted to be a mother and need for her babies. We noticed that Tara's dreams materialize. She becomes a mother of two girls. Bim, heroic in her ability to deal with her circumstances, could never achieve the heights she desired. When Tara visits her home in Old Delhi, her feeling of guilt arises for leaving Bim alone to cope with all the problems. In school, Bim was an all-rounder, a born leader. The teachers would admonish Tara in reproachful tones. Look at your sister Bimla. You should try to be like her. She plays games. She takes part in all activities. She is a monitor, the head girl. And you? In their childhood, when Bim and Raja would express their anger against their parents' obsessive card games by saying that they would tear and burn the cards, Tara used to run to Meera Masi for protection. One of the most striking examples of Tara's escapist tendencies found in the bee episode in Lodi Gardens. When bees attack Bim, Tara runs away instead of protecting her sister. She could not even dare to apologize to Bim. Much later in her life, she asks her for forgiveness. Bim's generosity reveals when she tells Tara, "You could not help in it. If you would stayed, you would have been stung. Like me, you had to run." Bim was of helping nature. Her selflessness extends to all her siblings and Meera Masi. On the contrary, Tara disliked social work. Interestingly, despite Tara's self-centeredness, she acted as a mediator in bringing Bim and Raja together after the misunderstanding over Raja's letter. Raja had written a letter to Bim after his father-in-law Hyder Ali's death. In the later, he stated that he inherited all the property as the only son-in-law, and thus the home also, in which Bim had been living. He reassured her that he would not increase the rent and allow her to live in it as long as she wanted to. The patronizing tone of the latter infuriates Bim. She cuts all ties with him. It is Tara who tells Bim to tear up the latter and forgive Raja. Eventually, when Bim tears up the latter, it is because of her own compulsions. However, Tara is instrumental in making this happen. Also, Tara notices that Bim is overstrained and is dangerously close to neurosis. She tells Bakul that Bim talks to herself. Her concern over Bim reveals when she tells Jaya that Bim is in a strange mood and that she is worried about her. Question number 3, or comment on the prose style of Nirad C. Chaudhari's The Autobiography of an Unknown Indian. Despite the title, The Autobiography of an Unknown Indian, the book is not truly an autobiography. It is a picture of the society in which Nirad C. Chaudhary was born and grew up. In his book, The Autobiography of an Unknown Indian, Nirad C. Chaudhary states to his target audience, I have written this book with the conscious object of reaching the English-speaking world. Perhaps this intended readership is responsible for his use of similes from European art, literature, and history. Both the preface and the prefatory notes to the first section are in style typical of the book. They are long sentences and a sprinkling of words from European languages. There are many situations where only French or Latin quotations would do, but Chaudhary has seemed to use foreign phrases, even if English equivalents exist. The common readers may not be fully conversant with these foreign phrases, and pausing to find the meaning provides a needless break in the reading experience. Chaudhary declares that his autobiography should not be treated as an account from beyond the grave. He says that reader may call it an account from the other side of the sea. He assumes that his reader should be as erudite as he is, and has never provided a translation. There is a tendency in the prose for the main point to get lost in a haze of verbiage. One can immediately notice that his tone is quite detached. There is no sense of closeness to his native village. Chaudhary's diction seems to be based on bureaucratic jargon with endless reservations and qualifications. There is no poetic license whatsoever. Instead of saying that the small town would look like a patch of mushrooms when seen from a height or an aeroplane, he writes, had there been aeroplanes in our boyhood? As if he is giving evidence in a court of law. Metaphors are from the West. To express the importance of the river, Chaudhary writes it was the Nile. In referring to the boats piled on the river, he does not care to describe them in detail. Instead, he institutes comparisons which are meaningless to the common reader, especially in India. Chaudhary has used short, simple, and balanced sentences in the prose. His style is usually prolix. He does not believe in using the minimum number of words. He has used many connecting phrases to link different paragraphs. The description of Durga Puja at Banagram is rich in adjectives. The glory scene of the buffalo sacrificed before the goddess becomes more vivid in its horror because of the details he provided us. Nirad C. Chaudhary has represented the changing moods in the prose very well. The bloody sacrifice is followed by chanting prayers to the goddess. Chaudhary is quite successful in conveying the enthusiasm that people in Bengal felt for the Western civilization. He criticizes Indians for suffering from a color complex, giving anecdotal evidence from his immediate family. His style is unambiguous when he is casting Indians. Nirad C. Chaudhari has provoked an emotional reaction, whether it is to the book or the person. This is all for part 3rd of this video. We'll discuss remaining questions in upcoming parts. So stay tuned with us. Thanks for watching.